Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fabled Talks Podcast. I'm your host, along Phom, and
This is me, Abhilash Singh.
for today
For the first time.
we are very excited
Yes,
because we have our first guest.
our first guest today.
So I will not be giving you the introduction
Yes.
because he's a very interesting guy. We just talked to him and his story, his experiences that he will be sharing across with all of us will be his introduction. So I welcome Mr. Ripunjoy Gogoi to our podcast, and thank you so much for sparing this time and showing that, like, by the time when I tried to contact you, you were like really excited. You were like, okay, you didn't even say that, oh, let me check out my schedule or like that. You just said like, okay, I'm really excited. So thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me also.
First of all, like, can you introduce yourself to our listeners?
For introduction, I don't have as such, as my name has already been given, Ripunjoy Gogoi, and currently I'm working in Dr. B. Bora Cancer Institute
Okay.
as a network engineer.
Okay, you are an engineer.
Yeah. There are different other associates also, colleagues
Okay.
with me. We take care of the computer peripherals or networks. And along with that, I have also a keen interest of cycling. And like that way, I have achieved few milestones.
Mhm. So we have called this because we wanted to also hear about his cycling stories.
Yes.
Recently, he has done something very, amazing that most Northeasterners would not know
Yes.
or like
not be aware
might not be aware of. So can you tell us about your recent
Adventures.
adventure story in London?
So the one everybody or why along invited me was for in August I had an event in London.
Okay.
It was a London-Edinburgh-London event which is named as LEL, and it's a 1540 kilometer cycling with elevation of 14,400 meters. And the given time for this event was 128 hours and 20 minutes.
128
hours. So
Okay.
5 days, 5 nights,
I
and
think 128 hours. I don't even know. I can't put it that hours into days also.
Yes, man.
So 128. And so, like, when you say about elevation, so it's in meters, right?
Yeah, it's
so
in
the Mount
meters.
Everest is at 8,000 or something.
8,800, yeah.
So you had done how many?
it's 14,400 meters.
Okay, so almost the
in
second.
general terms, if you say, like, some people might say how that can be, because Mount Everest is
Yeah,
8,000, there is nothing taller than Mount Everest.
Yeah.
So in cycling, we count the number of times we climb anything.
Yes.
Let's say a flyover.
Ah.
If you're climbing a flyover, it might be from the road till the topmost point, it might be 10 meters.
Yeah.
So if you're climbing that same flyover 10 times, so 10 meter into 10 becomes 100 meters.
Yes.
So that's how in cycling it counts. So the number of times we go up, that keeps on adding on
Uh-huh.
with number of coming down also. So total in 1540 kilometer, we had to cover 14,400 meters of elevation.
Okay, so along with you, were there how many Indian cyclists were there, or anybody from Northeast, from our region?
So from Northeast, I had one more rider. His name is Dhiraj Datta.
Okay.
He lives in Ujan Bajar only.
Okay, he's from Guwahati.
and he's a co-owner of Shifting Gears as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So from Northeast, we two were, and from India we had initially there were 160 riders.
160 is
Yeah,
a good
but
number.
but due to visa, like we had a lot of visa issues, because post COVID, a lot of people started for applying for visa. So
Okay.
most of us applied in tourist visa only. Nobody applied in business visa. So due to that, or we don't know for whatever reason, it was taking a lot of time. Few people got within 1 week, some got within 1 month, 2 months. I got after almost 90 days. So due to that late visa arrival, or due to a lot of pressure, So finally, 120 riders from India were on the starting line. Out of the total riders in LEL, we had around 1,900 something riders, which was a lot.
A lot.
But we were given different time slots.
Okay.
Like there was time from like 5, then 5:15. So every 15 minutes there was a group that was going like that to start.
So, what was the experience like? What would you what memories that you brought back home when you come back?
Say in memories, initially, like before doing LEL, I had done a different event, CKB in India only.
Full frame.
It's Climb Ka Baap, which it's a distance of 1200 kilometer. So in first 1200, I did 2. First one was a failure at 650 due to some physical issues. So in that first event, I took a lot of pictures because we are from Northeast.
Yeah.
We have a keen interest of mountains, forests, everything. We we will stop, click some photos, take some time. So in first event, I did that because it was we go to Himachal, like Dharamshala, McLeodganj.
Okay.
So we crossed the Himalayan mountain range. So it was so near. I was taking pictures. So due to that, the first failure was physical failure, and due to taking some time of clicking pictures also. Too many pictures. So the second time when I went, I did not, even though I took pictures, but very less.
Very
In the
limited.
first event, if I took 100 pictures, this time I took only 20 or 30.
Okay.
So LEL also, I had that same mindset in mind. No, even though no matter how beautiful the scenery might be, how like it might be the last time that I might visit London, I don't know, I will not stop for any pictures. That was one motto that I was keeping in mind. Rest, if I say the views, like the roads were good, if a lot of questions were asked, like how are the roads. So within the London, the roads are phenomenal, but the route that we took, that was through countryside. So
Okay.
countryside routes are most like Indian roads only. So
Okay.
it had potholes,
Narrow.
good roads were also there, narrow roads were also there. But the advantage that we had in there, since it was a countryside road, the traffic was very less. We got few traffics which were within the cities only. Plus we had to follow the street lights also.
Okay.
In Guwahati it started recently, but in India we had to follow.
Yes.
Because if anyone have noticed, in India also, when we cross, like if a car starts from a signal, the speed is very slow. It will like 20 or 15 or 30 speed. But in there, they directly, the first gear itself, I think they pull up to 60 or 70.
Okay.
So it's better to not take risk and stop at the signals. Rest, while going to Scotland, the Scotland views were very phenomenal. Yeah. Like on the, I think on the third day, while I was in Scotland. So while we were, so it's near to the axis. So while we were coming down to my last checkpoint of my third day, third day, a rider stopped in between. I also stopped. I inquired, like, was everything okay? He said okay. He said just look up. The moment I looked up, the stars were so pretty. Like in here, even if in the winter nights, if we look at the sky, we can see a lot of stars. Like let's say we can see about 1,000 stars. In there, I could see around double or triple the time, and it was so near to me. I was like, wish I could had a DSLR with me. I had my GoPro, but no, the GoPro was not able, since it was pitch dark. But it was so pretty, like I could see around 3-4 constellations, even like it was very good.
Okay.
So like scenery. So from us being from the Northeast has the advantage of views and sceneries.
Yes.
So it's more of like same only.
Okay, hilly.
Yeah, hilly areas, because we had to cover.
How was the weather?
Yes, that was a drastic change. Even the organizer himself said, like in all the areas that I have seen in videos, it's always been raining
Okay.
in the entire event time. So I said when I was staying with my mother and father, like I have no issues with cold, I have no issues with rain, but the combination of both rain and winter is a very bad thing.
Yeah.
You cannot tolerate both at the same time, because at the night time if the temperature is like 3-4 and at the time it rain, the temperature drops more, it might go to minus also, so it's difficult. So I was thinking like if it rains, I don't know what will happen. So but God grace, or we don't know, it did not rain. Like prior the event it had raining, but during the event there was no rain. Even the organizers say this was the first time that we have experienced no rain. It was completely during the daytime it was very hot, just like India. In the night time it got cold as it was windy, very windy at the night time. And the daytime like the sun rose around like sunrise would be around 4:30, which is very normal to us. But the sunset would be around 9:15.
9:15 p.m.
PM. Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
That's like
Yeah. So
very
entire
fast.
time it's very daytime, sunny, and suddenly till 9 it will be sunny. Then suddenly after 9:15 or 9:20 it will start getting dark. Instant darkness. So the night time I realized that I'm a night rider, so I can ride at night. So I tried riding as much as possible during the night time. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like during your entire 5 days, how many hours did you get sleep? Because randonneurs, we get very limited sleep.
So like it was actually a time management in here, in Guwahati, the Randonneurs that we have done, even you have also done. Like since it's flat, we are concerned about the timing that we will reach a control point. Okay, we need to reach for 100 kilometer. If I take 5 hours, it's fine.
Okay.
But when it comes to elevation, the game is totally different. It's a different, whole level different of timing. Like everything changes. I like CKB. I will quote keeping quote CKB. I have quoted a lot of people. Like if you want to try something that's challenging, go for CKB, because where there is elevation and there is distance also, your game plan, mindset, everything changes. There also I had the only thing in my mind was to cover as much as distance possible, sleep for some time, and then rode off. So initially my target was for 100 hours, what I was thinking, but due to elevation everything changed. So if you say about the sleeping, I calculated finally. So my entire riding time was 92 hours, entire riding time.
Okay.
So and I completed in 125 hours.
Okay.
So out of 92 hours, I had 33 hours spare. So out of that 33 hours, I only slept for 14 hours.
14 hours. That means
Rest 19, yeah.
only like 2 nights you
Yeah.
slept.
So 19 hours were almost like eating food and something like that. So first day, if I remember, I slept I think for 4 hours. Then I think I slept for 1.5 hours. Then 45 minutes. Then again 1 hour. Then on the final day, like just before the final day, my plan was to sleep for just 2 hours or 3 hours. But I don't know, the volunteer woke me up or he forgot or what happened, I don't know.
Okay.
Instead of 2 or 3 hours, I slept for 6 hours.
Entire plan failed.
So you had to, do you have to rush or
Yeah, initially
increase your speed?
Initially I was very angry, like on myself also, even on the volunteer. But when I started riding, I saw that but my bum was sore. I had some body pain. So when I started riding, those 2 problems were less. Like if it was initially, it was at 80% my body issue and bum sore. It came down to 50 or 40. So initial response was very angry from me. But when I started riding and I saw that okay, my body is working fine, then I said okay, now 6 hours might have been a good thing for myself. So then my next plan was to not sleep for the next 25. So I woke up at 9 a.m. on that day, on the 4th day.
Okay.
So from 9 a.m. till 11:15, there was no sleep for me. I did not sleep. So like 26 hours, I did not sleep.
26 hours.
After riding almost, I think 1200 kilometer.
1200 kilometers.
No, I think 1100 something kilometer. So the rest.
Still being modest.
Yeah. So like, how was the checkpoints? Were there like many checkpoints? People were giving you food.
Yeah.
How was being arranged?
Yeah,
like,
so
compared to our randonneurs that we do? Of course, it would be very different.
Yeah, it was very different experience-wise because they take a lot of volunteers in. A lot of volunteers went from India as well. So like first impression that I had, like we could say like 1900. That's a huge number, but on the registration day itself, we did not see much kind of a hassle. Everything was very well organized. There was no shouting this and that. It was a very different feeling that can be seen, a different change. And about the checkpoints, the distance from each checkpoint was very less, because what I noticed, like in India or in Guwahati, if you are riding any BRM, we are getting small shops in between. We can stop and take water.
Yes.
But in there, as it was a countryside, that scenario was very different. Like I could not see any shops. If we are passing by any town, yes, then we might get petrol pumps and shops. But otherwise, open fields, just like going to Upper Assam, there's open fields, or in mountains, it's just similar to that. So the maximum distance between any checkpoint was 112. But in that 112 also, there was a checkpoint in between, which was a secret one. So I could say 50-50. Rest, the shortest distance was 48 kilometer. Yeah,
48 kilometers.
but like I got checkpoints like 90 kilometers or 80 kilometers or so. But in those between, there were some small shops who were offering us food. Like we need to purchase, but there were shops where you can stop, buy something, and then again go off.
Okay.
So it was entirely different kind of CP controls. And yeah, fooding in CPs were hugely, like I got the advantage because I started early. So I got food very much abundantly. But later on I heard the later groups which are coming in, they got a bit less compared to the initial ones. It will be because initial riders will have the advantage of getting a lot of food. But it was not a lot also. They are giving in small portions. The portions might decrease towards the end, but the portions were also limited so that everybody could have it. So in my first checkpoint, when I reached, I was thinking like, okay, I will eat this, I will eat this. Like let's say there are 10 items. So I was thinking, okay, I will eat this. So I said, please give me that, give me that. So let's say I took 5 items. I had. So the next checkpoint, I think first was 100, the next was around 180. When I reached 180, I saw it was so tiring due to elevation and all. I put a motto to myself that I will have everything, but in small portions. So I went to a counter and I would say, please give me a bit of everything. They would laugh initially. Well, are you sure? Like, yes, I am sure. I do not have time to think also, because the thinking part itself is a stress. That what I will eat. It's better to have everything in small portions, because I don't know which would help in what way in the during the entire ride. Because in LEL, when I studied LEL, the main problem in LEL is navigation. Because in here in Guwahati we are familiarized with the routes, and even in India also there is no such problem. But in LEL there were different intersections, like intersection having 4-5 turnings. So going left, right. So even a 1-2 kilometer also will affect in time. So the main challenge in LEL was navigation. I had my bike computers, but still it was always a mindset that okay, I might get lost, I need to look after. So a lot of pressure was already in my mind, because first of all, I've never ridden so much long. Different country, different fooding, I don't know the people, weather different. So a lot of different factors. So I thought at least I can nullify one factor, that is eating food. So I would just go, please give me everything in small portions. I will have it as much as I can. I will put everything and just rode off. which I think which might help towards the finish. Like I started noticing, even though my body was trembling and my bump was sore, my legs were working fine. I was able to run around, like walk fast. The legs were working fine. Then I realized, no, since I was having everything, my body is perfectly okay for the entire ride.
Okay. So, like, it sounds like very challenging. Something like normal people won't be able to do. So, for this, I think you have to prepare a lot, right? So, what was your, how was your preparation being done? For how many months have you prepared?
When we first met, I used to ride MTB. You might have seen.
Yes.
So I was still riding an MTB. So last year, almost like it's just 1 year, I bought my first road bike.
Okay.
So the change was to road bike because I before that I have ridden 1,000 kilometer on MTB. So then I saw the body problem that it gets due to riding an MTB. It's very much.
Okay.
So I changed to road bike due to that only. So the main focus that I gave was CKB, because I wanted to see how CKB treats, because I've never done any kind of, because in CKB it's 1200 kilometer with 10,000 meters of elevation.
Yes.
So I've never done 1200 with 10,000 at that time. So I wanted to challenge myself. So when I went there, they had a Zoom meeting, and the organizer, his name is Chiro Mitra, he said, you need to cover 450 kilometer in 22 hours. I thought to myself, like 450 kilometer, it's like 400 BRM. 400 BRM is 27 hours. And till that time, 450 I have covered always in 26 hours, 26 and a half hours. And he is saying 450 kilometer in 22 hours. I thought, like, is he mad? How is that possible? It's okay. Let's see. I will. If not, I will manage in 25. So when I went initially, then I could see, like, since the road is good, the 450 kilometer in 22 hours was achievable. So the riders that finished in that October edition, all were able to get into a 450 kilometer within 22 hours.
Okay.
So then I understood that how I need to train, because elevation is completely different. In flat, we might be going at 30, 25, 26 constant for 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
But in elevation, the speed will decrease to 10, 15.
Yes.
Even 15 is very good, I would say.
Yeah, 15 is good.
8, 9, like from 5 to 10 will be the speed.
Below
So
10.
5 to 10 going in 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, it's very stressful. So I started going to Shillong or the new Shillong bypass road. So that way I started doing elevation rides as much as possible. As much as possible, I used to do elevation rides. I used to find where I could do elevation rides. My goal was only to do elevation rides, at least to make my body used to with the elevation. And by that time, the event started coming near. I took a home trainer from a rider only.
Wow.
And started doing in home only, the trainer, because I had office also. So
Yes.
as it's summertime, because the event was in August, so May, June, July is very hectic for us in Guwahati. And so due to that, for commute I use bicycle only. On unwanted circumstance, like if it's raining, then I would take a Uber or my home vehicle. Otherwise, I will always use the bike. So up and down with the bike, doing office work. Then I thought, no, putting extra pressure on myself is also unnecessary.
Yes.
So I took the trainer and doing training and worked on cadence, like more rotation to your legs during the weekdays, and during weekends like Saturday or Sunday I would try to hill climbing. So that was my focus, like along with proper training like hill training and leg rotations, rest was also needed. So that's why on weekdays I would try like 1 day of cycling, the next day rest, because my office itself is 10 kilometers, so daily almost I'm covering 20 kilometers. So that's also enough for me
Yeah.
for training. So that way I trained myself. Like on weekdays, office up and down with a little bit of leg spinning.
Mm.
Rest on weekends I would try some hill climbs. That's all how I did.
That's all. So all by yourself without any guidance from professionals? Or
No,
you just
everything
like trial and error?
Yeah, everything was done by me. Like I like experimenting with myself. Like it's like since now we have access to YouTube and everything, you can
Exactly.
just open a YouTube and look what we can do.
Mhm.
So YouTube itself will give you a lot of idea. Like you can do this, you can do that. So that's how I started learning also. When I started riding the bike, like I saw, okay, if I need to go like Nongpu, first goal was my Nongpu when I started riding in 2018. It took me almost like 5 hours to reach Nongpu. Then I came home like, okay, fine, let me see what we need to do in uphill riding. So then I said, okay, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that, you need to do this. So there are a lot of do's and don'ts in uphill cycling. So I learned, started doing this and that. So everything like self and YouTube, I would say.
Yes. And you earlier you were talking about your hand going numb and you're still recovering, which you have not been riding as much as you have been riding before the event, right?
Yeah.
So what actually went wrong?
I'm still not sure. Like a lot of riders have said, numbness is it does happen during the ride. It will happen in long rides.
You're putting in the same position for
because
longer,
it's
right?
a long. Like even if we are changing the position, it's long days, like 5 days. Or
Yes.
even if a lot of happens in 3 days as well. Like normally everybody would ride how much? 4, 5, 6. Let's say 24 hours at the max. Anybody would ride. Then it would be less. But 3 days, 4 days. Putting the same position, same posture, it does hamper. So a lot of people have said, even professional riders do say on endurance ride, the numbness do happen. But if post event, if the numbness is for a longer duration of time, it might be due to body posture or due to wrong bike fit. So till now I have not done bike fitting. Like bike fitting is like, if I say in general terms, when we get a car, we always position the seat according to our height or according to our comfort. So that's bike fitting on a normal cycle. The position of our knee, thighs, hand, shoulder, body, saddle, everything will get adjusted. So my numbness might be due to that also, because I have not done bike fitting till now. I have done everything with my comfort. Okay, my height is this, I adjusted, I am comfortable in this position. With that only, I have ridden till now. So I'm still recovering from the numbness.
Okay. So which fingers went numb?
So the numbness, during the ride, I had numbness on both of my hands, but the major was on my left hand. So the right hand got recovered, I think 2-3 weeks after. Almost the most riders got recovered during that phase only.
Okay.
But my left hand, first 4 fingers were numb, like almost post 1 month or so. So they are still numb. Like
So you can't feel it.
yeah,
properly.
I do feel it, but they are high sensitive. Like if I put something on them, sometimes it feels like I'm cutting my hand, something like that. They're highly sensitive.
And what are other parts of the body were affected?
well,
like your bum, you said.
Yeah, the bump was sore. It's general, like everybody has faced. But the main, I'm still not sure why it happened. It might be due to the bike fitting only. On the second day, on the second day, while climbing the steep, the most tough part of the LEL, I had knee pain on my left leg. I did not knew why it happened, how it happened, but that was a problematic. But apart from that numbness and that left knee pain, during those rest, everything was fine with my body. Might be due to, as I was having a lot of food, everything, that might have helped, because I was not being choosy what was going inside my body. And I was taking as much as water as possible. So the food might have helped me, what I think, because there was everything like cereals, potato, mashed potato, even rice was available. I was surprised when I because in European countries we do not see rice. If there is an Indian person, we might see Indian restaurant, the rice option might be available. But if it's a foreign people like British or anyone, the rice option would not be there. So when I saw rice, I was so happy. Because it was like biryani. I was like, oh, it's very good. Give me how much rice? Yeah. And even there were chicken pieces there were boneless chicken. So everything like nutrition was at top notch. Everything was available. We can have everything. Even vegan options were there, but they were a little less. But for us non-veg, everything was available. Take everything, have it. Like on every control points, I was having around items of around 5 to 6. So 6 different items, it's I think more than enough to give us if not 100% body recovery, at least 50 to 60% the body is recovered somehow. And the sleep also did help. I was sleeping as much as possible because people do say 14 hours is very less, but for us, for 4 hours, 2 hours is also very much.
Yeah.
Because we have seen in Guwahati itself, we always sleep in 600. So in 600 we will sleep like just 1 hour or 2 hours. Yeah. That's all. But that 2 hours is also enough for the next day to carry us almost like 200 kilometers. Yeah. So 2 hours, 3 hours, like 4 hours was very good, I would say.
Apart from your body getting sore and your hands getting numb and all, was there any problem with your bike that went wrong?
This time there was no problem with the bike because post I had different problems. Like when I bought the bike, I have never ridden a road bike. So within 3 weeks of riding road bike, I went to the last October CKB. So first of all, it was a racing component. Like the cassette was small, the one in the back side, it was small. So in the so in the climbing we require big cassette, which I came to know later on. So that was one lesson, one problem I had, and rest was okay. I did training, I changed my cycle. I had some brake issue also, which was resolved after I came. Then February again I went for same 1200 kilometer. This time everything was fine. But while coming down, my brakes were not working. So I could say 500 kilometer I was with brake, rest 700 kilometer I was riding brakeless. So that was the problem that I encountered in February. Post coming, I did as much as investigation, tried searching everything. So I made changes as much as possible. So in LEL, I had no issues with the bike. So everything I had was during the events only. I got everything that I could know. So during LEL, I had no issues with my bike.
Okay. So what's next? What are you planning?
For next, for as of now, international wise, there is an upcoming event on 2023 in Paris. It's called Brest, Paris. It's a 1200 kilometer event.
That's like the mother of all the randonneur.
Yeah, it's not a mother. Actually, LEL people say that it's the mother of all the BRMs. Actually, not BRMs as well. When any rides beyond 1000 kilometer, like 1200 or 1400, 1500, they're considered as ultra-cycling.
Okay.
So among the ultra-cycling events, the LEL 1500 kilometer is considered the toughest one.
Okay.
And when it comes to PVP is like a festival event, just like a Tour de France event. It's like a festival or a World Cup when it's happening. So PVP is just similar to that. It's a festival event, and around 6,000 to 7,000 riders go to participate in that event.
Oh my God.
So the number is almost jumped to twice, 4 times the number of LEL.
Okay.
So that's also a challenge. So that's what I'm thinking. So it will depend at time also whether I'm able to go or not. And for local wise, I have a planning of Deccan. There is an event in Pune. It's called the Deccan Cliffhanger.
Okay.
It's the same cycling event only, but it's a race of 644 kilometer.
Okay.
So I'm planning that one. Let's see what happens. Time will say.
Now I think it's good to call him ultra-cyclist.
Yeah. The ultra
From
cyclist.
Assam,
Yes.
right? Or from Northeast, the ultra-cyclist. Yes, that's one of the toughest cyclists even
Yes.
in the Northeast.
Also, I would like to know, like, throughout your whole cycling career, like, what has been the most like unbearable pain or injury that you have suffered that like almost makes you quit cycling? Has there ever been any?
There has not been any such like quitting. Like it's never an option for us because what we have seen or what we have realized by riding, if the legs are working, the cycle will keep on going.
Yeah.
If there is only problem will be if there is a mechanical failure. Apart from that, a rider be whatsoever, he will keep on going. We might push the bike also and go, but till the bike is working fine, we will keep on going. But apart from that, the major pain that I felt might be in when I was doing the first 1000 kilometer, which was organized by Guwahati Randonneurs. I was riding the MTB. So MTB are like used for normal, like we can use for doing this and that, roaming here and there. But short rides or going to mountains.
Yeah.
But it's never recommended for long rides.
Yeah.
So it's still never recommended, but we do that.
I also did 600.
Yeah, he have also done 600. But like it's a torture to the body. MTB would be useful if it's a expensive one, like it might be like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, because then the bike will be light actually. Like it's the same thing. If you say expensive wise, even the road bike also, if you buy a normal road bike like from 20,000 or 40,000, and if you buy a 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs road bike, so it's the same, it's a bike, but the difference will be in the weight. If a normal bike, a normal 20,000 bike will be of 15, 16 kg or 18 kg, but a normal expensive one will be around 10 kg, 11 kg. Yes. So in cycling, what happens? Let's say your bike is 18 kg or let's say 20 kg. So 20 kg plus your own weight, you will have to carry that. So if you are riding a 10 kg bike plus your own weight, so you have a minus of 10 kg. Initially, nobody will feel that, but as the duration increase or the height increase, then it comes that it's difficult that way. So when I was doing the 1000, those were difficulties like body pain, this and that, bum
From
pain.
where did you do that?
So it was started from Khanapara. We went via Pajshala, and near about Kokrajhar highway only, we took the U-turn. We came back, we stayed in Pajshala. There was a night sleep. Then we went towards Kaziranga. Kaziranga was our next stay. From Kaziranga, we went to Golaghat and we came back to Guwahati. So it's like within 3 days, we went Lower Assam and Upper Assam as well, covering 10,000 kilometers.
So it was during winters, right?
Yes, it was during the winters. So and that also with winter, like it was so chilly, the hands were numb, a lot of problems. So like then I understood like MTB is good, but as the time and duration progresses with the cycling or on the road, and as the body wears down, MTB is no at that time. But if it's a light bike, then it might be effective. It will be slower than a road bike, but it will be helpful because in MTB we have suspension. In road bike there is no suspension. Everything is bared by the body. So the suspension will help.
So one thing that I noticed while riding MTB was that for longer rides I had the band on my neck also because you're just in that one position, right? If you have a road bike, there's a drop down bars like the handlebars. where you can change your position in multiple, like I think at least 3 positions that you can.
They generally say 3 positions, but it's on you how you ride. Like even I do not use aero bars, but I can do aero position on road bike.
Okay.
So same goes with MTBs. I can do aero position on MTB as well.
Okay.
So like it's like the body pain that we face. What I notice is everything on the bike fit. If there is no bike fit, there will be problem. Like if you are riding a car, if the seat is not upright, you might feel difficult. It's on the rider who's riding. Some ride straight up, some ride drive while sleeping or lying. So if you are not in a comfortable position, like if you're going 50-60 kilometer, there is no problem. But when you have reached 100-200 kilometer, you start facing shoulder, hand numbness somewhere. So it's same with the bike also. If your bike fitting is not proper, there will be issues when you're doing long rides. In short, like 10-20 kilometer, there is never an issue. But when you go for 300, 400, which we are doing, then the problem might come or might not come. It will depend.
And you were saying that you are planning to go off next month or next week for bike fitting in Delhi.
So it's in like this month itself only, during the puja only, I'm thinking of going. So like they say, what I have heard, like the professionally they do in Chennai. But in Delhi, I have some known, like I did my college in Delhi, not in Delhi actually, in Gurgaon. So I have my college friends in Delhi, so I know that they stay, and I know few riders also. So that's why I took the option of going Delhi, since it's near also, and it's been a long time since I visited them. So social visit and professional visit will be done in one touch only.
I think even Guwahati, with the amount of riders and the clubs that are coming up, I think we need to have like professional way of bike fitting as well, because I think lots of youngsters are coming up and they are participating in national camps, no? So I think we will definitely need some professional bike fitters.
Yeah, that's true. Like what I noticed, like the ones who are doing the national games or are associated with the institution or associations like SAI or CFI, they already have done their bike fitting, what I assume or presume while going 20. But the rest riders who are doing BRMs or any brevets or any touring, those people need more bike fitting. Or people are not aware actually. The main thing is awareness. People do not know what is bike fitting. Even if I say someone bike fitting, what's that? They would say they don't understand what bike fitting. So it's still not awareness. People are not aware of it. Even if you go, they will say, okay, my height is this much. Even when I bought the bike, I know that medium is the right size for me. But if I go to a different brand, the bike fitting is actually, before buying a bike itself, the body measurement is done. Then only a bike is recommended. That's bike fitting. That's the base of it. Before going, you need to check the height, the length, everything. Then only they recommend these are the brands that I can go for.
Tailor for cyclists.
Tailor for cyclists.
So then only. So it's more about awareness. When you get aware of it, that okay, there is something called bike fitting where we need to get ourselves adjusted with our bike, or we need to get adjusted how the bike it is. So then only people will go or ask for bike fitting. Plus, like I said, unless you do not get the problem, you never ask for it. Unless you face that problem. When you start facing that problem, then you think, okay, something is wrong with my bike, or something is wrong with me. There might be some problem with the body posture also. So a lot of things comes into account. So you cannot say anything.
So generally in India, what happens is that if you want to buy a new bike, first thing you will ask for budget, right? Generally, budget, and then maybe brand or thing like that. The company,
Color.
Color, all those things. And after that, we don't do bike fitting, and then we have this notion that when you sit on your bike, your leg has to be able to reach the ground. Like we think as like other like motorbike or scooter like that, so that we can, when we are stopping, we should. But it's not like that. When you do bike fitting, you can't reach your leg.
It's never. So it's how we have started. So when we started cycling, okay, if my legs are touching the ground, okay, I'm fine, because we have always the insecurity of we might fall down.
Yeah, we might fall down. Yes.
So it's always has been like that. So, but if not bike fitting also, the proper posture should be like the knee should be bent around like 45 degree or somewhat. But still, unless the bike fitting is not done, you don't know the exact amount of angle, the hand, elbow position. Unless the bike fitting is done, we won't be able to know.
So apart from cycling and participating at like one of the toughest...
Apart from ultra cycling.
Yeah, ultra cycling. What do you do? What do you normally do?
Normally, like my days are always busy. Weekdays I am always busy with the hospital duties, because it's the IT infrastructure is still new to us also, and in hospitals it's still new to the doctors, even to the patients sometimes. So so weekdays I'm busy with the office schedule. Once I'm home, I start browsing the YouTube only. I just keep seeing what I need to do to improve myself, because initially it was a hobby, like okay, I can do this and that. So now I'm trying to focus more on cycling along with my office duties also. So when I'm home or when I free time, I try to see what different I can do with myself, because there will be a point when I need to choose like about what I need to do next and how my body is. So if my body is not well, I cannot do anything. It's the body, the main that carries us. So the recovery is also must. So I also look into that, how I can recover myself, or what things or exercises can be done so that I can make my body stronger, so that I can perform well. If not perform well, I can stay fit while I'm riding in any event.
Do you do other workouts? You lift weight, or you try to gain muscle, or all this exercise?
I have been recommended by a lot of people, my family, my parents also, but I do not do any of it, to be frank.
Because lots of other cyclists from Western countries and all, they do that, right?
They do that, but I have never done it. I do little bit of stretching, like compared what I should be doing, I do a very less amount of it. But when I do it, I do it. But might be initial my base. My father used to take he's an athlete himself, so he used to wake me up early morning, took me to running. So I have knowledge of running. I have played football. I have played badminton. I have played swimming also. So a lot of different activities, sports I have done. So might be due to that. I'm still used to doing a lot of activities. So, and before, one thing I remember, before going to or before joining LEL, there was a running event. It's called Hell Race. Which
Hell Race.
Which happens in Rimbik, and it's 30-kilometer race which I was planning, and it's elevation of I think 900 meters or 1200 meters. I forgot what was. I think 1200 meters. I think something around of that. So I wanted to test how my body is. So I went there and I was able to complete within the time. So might be like the day-to-day activities I am doing, a little bit of running or MTB cycling. I don't know how, but my body is still going on. But I do need to focus more on stretching right now, which I'm not doing it, but step by step I'm still doing a little bit. Because unless the body is not recovered fully, I am thinking not to do much effort, because I do not know internally how my body got affected during the ride.
So when we talk about, you have talked about your body, how you are taking care, how you are preparing and all. But then when it comes to ultra cycling or ultra marathon and all, long distance, endurance. So most part of it also plays with your mindset, your mental game, right? Because when we ride for 400, more than 400, like 300 was somewhat, like for me it was okay, I can do it, don't have to put too much mental pressure and, but then once I did like 600, then things comes, because you are not sleeping properly. Lots of factors that you have said, like you had like for food and for different location, all these things. So you try to even, nullify one of the aspect where you don't put the pressure in your thing. So how do you control your mindset? What do you say to yourself? And tell me about it. I would love to listen because is it the playlist? Or you have a secret playlist. You say you done motivational speech. What do you do?
Like you're right. Even for me also, I started my randonneuring career with 300. Directly, I went for 300. So 300 is easy. What I noticed because it's within one day.
Yeah.
It's never a pressure. But when you do 400 and 600, it's more than one day.
Yeah.
Then the pressure starts coming on mind, and we seem to hallucinate. A lot of riders I've seen hallucinate in 600.
I did. I fell down.
You also hallucinate. I've seen two or three riders who have hallucinated. So they said, I said hallucinated. I said I never hallucinated. I don't know how it will be. But when I was doing 1000, I got hallucinated.
Okay.
I was riding, I don't know why. Even at the tracks that I were playing were on loop, I got exhausted, bored because the same thing was playing for 75 hours, the same songs. Oh, it's difficult.
Ran out of songs.
So at that point, I think I forgot where I was on the last day. I was riding and I started, talking to myself it was playing in my head, I think. Someone said to look behind. I looked behind and I almost fell down off the road. But it was a good road on the side, so nothing happened. But apart from that, because otherwise it's never recommended, and even international they never recommend to use earphones. Even if you're using, one side should be open. So in LEL,
Why is that?
Because you don't know if someone is calling you for help.
Okay.
Might be a car might be coming. So anything, just to be on safe side, it's not recommended to use earphones, but we use it for our preference only. But otherwise, it's not recommended.
Yeah.
So what I did in LEL, or what I started noticing, that either one best way is to sing song. If you know a song, try to sing on repetition. But I do not know lyrics of a lot of songs, and I was humming as much as possible. I was changing this and that. So that's the way how I keep myself calm. Or the pressure that I mentioned, like 1500 kilometer, so much elevation, navigation. So if there are 10 hurdles to be crossed, then it's better to nullify one and nullify as much as possible. But some hurdles will be there. But if you can nullify something, then at least your mind will be at peace. Rest to sing song or hum something in your mind so that your mind is active and it's refreshed. And yes, what I realized crucially, you need to know where you are able to focus. Like if you are a day rider, if you can ride during the night better. So according to that, you can work.
Okay. Man, you said lots of things, so much things. Lots of information, new information.
Lots of clips.
Even me, I love cycling.
Yeah.
And then I think I got especially with, I like the part where he said, about the mental part, where you have to take out few factors.
Yeah.
Reduce the amount of pressure that wherever you can reduce.
Yeah, because the pressure would be there no matter what. Riding a distance until you have not completed the event, the pressure is always there. So you need to make sure to nullify the other factors as much as possible. Like some things would be there, body pain, thinking what to do next, what to not do, those will be there. But if you can nullify something or make your mind cool, that might be helpful.
And so you have seen this cycling culture being, it's been like for last few years you have seen how it has grown, even in Assam, in Northeast. So what do you think, like is it going to be going on like this, or
what is our future?
Is it going to stop? Or do you think you are seeing new cyclists coming up? What do you think? What do you see?
So if you say future wise, I do not know what it might be, but as point of a health perspective, I have seen a lot of people taking up cycling due to health issue only, because the day-to-day schedule is so busy, and people eating fast food, and even I take fast food, but something to do something outdoor. Some have taken up cycling due to health. Some have taken up cycling to roam here and there. Some have taken up cycling so that they can go in places where they cannot go with their bikes or cars.
Exactly.
So there are different reasons to take cycling. So with those reasons, if people still continue, then cycling would be there. But rest is about awareness only. The rest are
and also we have seen, I think, during pandemic, it has grown a lot.
Pandemic did help. Cycling, because the police were not allowing anyone to go out. So people said, okay, they are not doing anything to cyclists. Let's take out cycling. So which was not bad intention, but if they are still continuing, then that's a good thing. I say to anyone, like in my hospital itself, there are a few like they have cycles. They ask me like, when do I do cycling? I do not have time. I say, if you can take just 10-15 minutes, just 10-15 minutes, not more than that, daily. If you can come to office and go, good. If not, then take out 10-15 minutes either after dinner or in the morning. Right? 10-15 minutes, that's more than enough. Because once you get used to it, 10-15 minutes, then that person himself will take out more time. With be it 20 minutes, 50 minutes or 1 hour, he will take it out himself. So it's more about taking out time for just 10-15 minutes.
So let's go back to your history of when you started cycling. How did you find that love for cycling? When did you really say, okay, I love cycling, I wanted to keep on cycling? Was there any moment, or was it gradually it happened? Or
I think
when was it?
Suppose it's a gradual process that it happened, because like everybody started cycling at the childhood age. Everybody did. I also did. But I started going to tuitions with cycles only. Okay. So that I started keep continuing like that way. When I was in class 11 or 12, I suppose, if I'm right, I went to Tahir waterfalls, which is around, I think, up down 70 will be. So that was the time when, that was the first longest I did. Okay, it's a very long I did. I was very satisfied with myself. And plus at that time also, I think it should be around 2010 or 11 when I did that. So that's a huge thing at that time. So gradually itself only, the love for cycling came, because I saw going in the bus also was difficult at that time, or sometimes walking also was difficult. But with cycle I could go somewhere, and even my my parents also allowed. Okay, even he goes somewhere, he can come home early. It might be that my parents were relaxed of letting me go somewhere nearby on cycle. So it stayed, and gradually I did cycling, and I think that way itself it came. It was a gradual process, I would say. That's all.
And one thing that I really wanted to know from you is that, see, when we tell any normal people, any like our friends or family, that we ride for 400 kilometers, 600, they will be like, why do you do that? Right? The first thing they would do, why would you do that? They would say that. So I'm asking you the same questions. Why do you do that? What motivates you to do? And not coming from, like someone who has done 600, 400 PRMs in Guwahati. I'm asking to someone who has done LEL, which is one of the toughest bicycling even in the world. So what motivates you to do that? Why do you do that?
What is your end goal?
There's no end goal, I would say. I just like doing it, so I just keep on doing it. And why do you do it? A lot of people, even I ask sometimes, why do I do it? When I was, I think I asked that question, yes, when I was doing the 1000 BRM. I crossed the Kaziranga part both times, and it was in the night time. And when I was coming on the final day, I was thinking, why I am doing all this? Why the torture to myself? I could be sitting in home and lying doing something. I still ask sometimes, why do I love doing it? I'm still not sure. But what I see, what I have realized sometimes, when we are completely stressed out, if the day has been stressed out, or we are depressed, be from scolding from parents, office, or n number of issues. If you are depressed, if I take out the bike, go somewhere, the mind gets a little bit of relaxed. I have realized that 2 or 3 times. I realized that. Apart from that, I have seen the beauty of nature. How we can see is, if you go by car to Shillong, we pass a lot of locations without even noticing. But when we go by bike, we tend to notice, let's say in car we notice 10%. On bike we will notice around 50 to 60%. But when we go on cycle, I have seen we notice almost the 100% of the things. If not 100, I would say 90% of the things. Even a small stream, even a small waterfall will be noticed. And when we reach that, we will say, okay, it took me this much effort. So the happiness that comes from inside, that only a cyclist will know, or one who is running, the runners who do ultra marathons. They know once they reach that goal, like someone will think, okay, today I will go to Police Bazaar. Once he reached there, he's like, oh, the satisfaction, I think no one can give that kind of satisfaction. It might be due to that. But see, if someone still asks, I am always like, why do I do? I don't know. I just love doing it, so I keep on doing it.
So for a beginner cyclist, like which place in the Northeast would you say is the most beautiful place that they should cycle to once?
It's on the perspective of the rider itself. If he likes going to forest, then in Guwahati you have different locations. If he likes riding in the mountains, then Meghalaya, Arunachal. So it's on the rider what he likes to ride. It might be he might be like going to like the most prominent that I have seen for a lot of riders from Guwahati is Bellevue. So they will go meet up. It's good. So it's on the perspective of the rider. Some like riding in groups. So there are different locations. Even small locations are also there which they can go and visit. But it's on them what they want to do and where they want to do or where they want to. It's on them.
So on your free time, do you try to promote cycling to your friends, colleagues, families? Or,
I think they get motivated by default, I would say. I do not go and tell someone do cycling. I think me doing cycling motivates others, or me doing some achievements or getting some milestones does affect others. Because I have seen they come and ask me, you have done that? Well, how did you do or what did you do? They come and I think me riding on my daily basis or going to any events or riding anywhere motivates by default to all the others who know to be. Rest, they are known, I'm not sure. I've seen many people know me either by my name or by my face.
I can add on to that, because there's in my gym there's one guy, so I go to my gym like every now and then on my bicycle, right? So there's one guy who came and asked me, oh, you ride bicycle? I said, I ride bicycle. I do, Then he said, do you go for something? And then he was telling me, oh, one of my cousins, like towards my mom's side, he went to London, and I said, is it Ripunjoy? He said, yeah. How do you know? I was like, he was talking about it. His name is Chinmoy, if you know Chinmoy. His name was Chinmoy. So he's towards your mom's side. So
lean.
So he trains at Pitang MMA.
Okay.
So he was telling me that. Then I realized, okay, So that's what I add on.
Has
people
anyone
see
ever
that.
Came up to you and told you like they were inspired by you and started cycling, or anyone?
You have
like fans of.
And one thing that I like about him, because I'm not saying because there's a camera, or not saying because he is there. One thing I've noticed about him, because we are in different groups together, right? In WhatsApp group, or whenever we ride, he would never try to brag about himself or post about or say things like that. Every time he does things, somebody else advocate for him. He's doing that. He's not the one. And there are few riders, which I'm not going to name, of course, who always if they ride for at least 50 kilometers, they will just put a post pictures, like that.
Post.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that helps them. So that helps them. It's good for them. But then something I have noticed from Ripunjoy, that's why whenever I go for rides, whenever I meet him, I always say hi, hello, and then we also try to ride together doing 600 100. I think we are almost riding together, and there were some mechanical issues, and then you guys have to stay back and all like that. So I think thank you so much, by the way, for coming and talking to us.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think I have learned a lot from you. This discussion was so much needed for me, and even for Abhilash, who is not into cycling, but I think you can
but
still.
But there are things I can relate. Like he said, like cycling, going out cycling clears your mind. Like even me riding my scooty.
No, it depends.
But it's a different.
I'm polluting the environment. I know, but even that is like. Sometimes
but you should try cycling. But you should try cycling.
Yeah, I also sometimes say try. Sometimes I say to people, try cycling, just try once. So the main thing is getting used to it. Once you get used to it, and I think once you're addicted to it, it's difficult. Like for us, I think cycling is almost like an addiction. It has become addiction to us, I think.
The moment that I, complain to myself that I'm not doing enough in life is like, I look at my bicycle, and if there's dust in my bicycle, then I say like, okay, you're not taking care of your health, you're not doing enough, you're not improving. Then okay, I have to get on my bicycle, and then I have to ride. So when I ride, I come back, and if I ride on Sunday, so the next week is much easier. It's easier to go through, right?
And I think as you mentioned, the dust on the bike, I think us if we have a car, even if you have a bike, or even if we do not bath the car, bike and ours, I think the cycle would be more shinier than any of the current bike, I think. True. Even though if you are riding a car every day, but still the cycle will be a little bit more shinier than the car.
Exactly.
So his cycle is in the living room, so he's very close.
No, even mine bike is also, even if it's not in the living room, it will be in one of the rooms. Okay. Because I do not trust keeping it downstairs anyway, because the number of thefts that happens. I say to everybody, if you own a house, put it in a room. Even if you stay in a flat, if you are allowed to take your bike to your room, take it up and keep it in your room rather than keep it in the open. It's better safe than sorry. No matter
how much would your cycle be worth?
Like the road bike that I'm riding, I purchased it. It costed me 1 lakh, but I did some upgrades. So the upgrade value also increased the cycle.
That cycle should be in the bedroom and on the bed.
No, they are more expensive cycle actually. They are more expensive cycle. The most expensive in Guwahati, I think. That's why I think it's around 7 lakhs.
Owned by someone.
Yeah, it's owned by someone. There are expensive bikes in Guwahati. 3, 4.
Yeah.
So I do not say about being expensive, be a 20,000 bike, because a 20,000 bike is also expensive to someone. So on 20,000, 10,000 also will be expensive. So I say keep it safe as much as possible.
It's not about
because
the price.
10,000 we don't know how much he got or how much their parents got it for. So it's better to keep it safe as much as possible.
Very true.
Even as like 2-3 locks, get it locked and keep it safe.
And I think we have talked a lot for today, and he has shared so much. And really thank you for coming and talking with us.
Welcome. Thank you for
I'm sure we will call you back again. Like apart from bicycling,
20,000 kilometers next.
I enjoyed a lot talking to you.
Yes, obviously.
So apart from talking about bicycling all the time, we can come and just talk about other things as well.
Sure.
Please do come back whenever you have time. We will call you.
Sure,
so
no problem.
I think since you are the first guest,
debut guest, yes.
Yeah. So if anything happens, or if once this podcast picks up and it does well, we will always call you back, and then we have a very interesting discussion like we had today.
Yes.
Sure, no problem at all.
Such a great conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to all our listeners for listening today. And we'll catch you again next week. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Done. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.